Well, good morning. Welcome to That Church in Cabot. My name is Kendall Harness. I'm the campus pastor here at That Church. And man, I'm glad you're here. If it's your first time with us, thank you for spending your Sunday with us. And spending a little bit of time with us. 1 second. I have something trying to... so sorry about that. That's my fault. But anyway, today we're going to be talking about awesome relationships. We're finishing up our series. We're talking about marriage, okay? Quick disclaimer before I get into it. In a non-raunchy, completely mature way, we are going to touch on sex. So if you have your child in here and you're like, oh my gosh, don't tell them any of that, you may want to take them to children's ministry. But anyway, I just want to give that disclaimer. I had a guy last service who was like, it was mature, it was handled well, but I still would have liked a warning. So there you go. There's your warning. You will not get another one. Okay, so, but the deal is this. Before we get into it, next week, we're going to be kicking off a brand new series called Fixer Upper. We're following the popular show with Chip and Joanna. We're going to have a marketplace. It's going to be incredible. You're going to love it. Mother's Day is going to be beautiful. You do not want to miss Mother's Day at That Church. We love moms. We honor moms. It's a big, big weekend. And so if you would, invite your mom. On Mother's Day, come hang out with us. They're going to have strawberry shortcakes from Holland Bottoms. They're going to have all kinds of stuff just for moms. Completely free, all for you. We want to honor you, moms, and want to honor your moms that are coming. And so please invite them out. It's going to be a big weekend, I promise. So that's in a couple of weeks. But this week, we're talking about awesome marriages. Awesome marriages. Most people think of marriages as a 3-ring circus. There's the engagement ring, the wedding ring, and suffering. That's what most people would say marriage is comprised of. And if you think about it, when someone is murdered, the first person they investigate is the spouse. That should tell you all you need to know about marriage. But as I thought about it, as I began to kind of look through this, the truth is this, is that God's Word has this incredible blueprint for what marriage is supposed to be. I refuse to accept the idea, and I completely reject the idea that marriage has to be suffering all the time. No doubt there are things about marriage that are just not fun. There's times where you're going to fight. You're going to argue. It's not going to go well. It's going to be one of those times where, y'all are upset at each other. That's going to happen. Okay, it is. It's part of marriage. But the truth is this, is that you still got to make time for you and your spouse to have fun. And today we're going to talk about having fun. And all my single people and my dating people and even my engaged people, you need to hear this too. You go, why would I need to hear this? You need to hear this because at some point you're going to be working through your marriage and you're going to hit a wall. And when you do, you can go, hey, I'm going to quit. We're going to try it somewhere else. Maybe it didn't work out, whatever. Or you can say, hey, we're going to work through it. These are the steps that you would take, and these are the foundational points for every single relationship. These are 3 points. They're not going to be like super specific. They're going to be a little vague, but that way you can begin to interject your own relationship into it. And you can say, hey, these are things we do. These are things we kind of don't do. And this is what marriage kind of looks like. Look at this verse, Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verse 9. It says, live happily, with the woman you love through all the meaningless days of life that God has given you under the sun. The wife God gives you is a reward for all of your earthly toil. She's a reward. The Bible says live happily. That's what it says. So now the question is, okay, Kendall, how do we live happily? Because I read a statistic that said that 60% of Americans, 6 out of every 10, 60 out of 100, if I go any higher, I'll have to take a shoe off, but that group of people, 60%, said they are unhappy in their current marriage. That's a lot of people. Not that they're getting a divorce. Not that they're on the rocks. Everything may be going fine, but they're unhappy. You go, well, I'm going to tell you, marriage is a whole lot more than a feeling you need to get over yourself. And that's partially true. At the same time, the truth is this. I think sometimes we suffer through something that God actually gave as a gift. And the reason we do it is not because the other person is the devil or anything like that. But what it is that actually we're ill-equipped and unprepared to actually walk through marriage together. And often the longer we're married, the more our standards begin to kind of change when you interject kids and in-laws and all these things. All of a sudden, things get really complicated. So today we're going to simplify. We're going to talk about how to have fun. The NIV version of that same verse in Ecclesiastes says, enjoy life with your wife whom you love. The truth is this. Nobody falls in love while having a bad time. You just don't. Think about the moment you fall in love with your spouse. You're like, I fell in love when he did this. Or I fell in love For guys, it's like this one time at the lake, and it's like anyway. But the deal is, I fell in love at that moment. There was all kinds of stuff going on, and I fell in love, and all those things. You never hear anyone say, I fell in love when I was arguing with my boyfriend over the bills and how much I hate his mom. Nobody ever says that. You want to know why? Because it doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. Nobody falls in love that way. You fall in love when you're having fun, when you're enjoying yourself. And so today what we're going to talk about is having fun in marriage. We're going to learn to enjoy our spouse once again. And what's it going to take to do that? It's going to take some intentional investment in our marriages. Saying, hey, I'm going to be intentional with my spouse. Most often we're intentional with everything else except for them. In fact, I would dare say that most of us use our marriage as an excuse not to be intentional with our spouse. Well, I was intentional every day, now we got kids, and I have a career, and I have all this stuff going on. I can't be intentional with them. I don't have time. And the truth is this, is that we can continue to make excuses for why our marriage is not what it should be, or we can drop the excuse and say, I'm going to do everything I can to make my marriage everything that God desires for it to be. Be happy with your wife. Live happily with her. That's what Scripture says. So it's possible. Okay? It's possible. Scripture's not going to tell you something that's not possible. All right? It's possible. And so today we're going to talk about how to have fun. So there's 3 types of fun that I want to talk about today. 3 types of fun that every single married couple should have. Okay? 3 types of fun. You're going to have a blast, but these are 3 specific types that I want to talk about today. The first one is face-to-face fun. You write that in. Face-to-face. Men, write it down. Trust me. Trust me, just write it down. I'm going to help you, okay? I'm going to help you a lot here in just a second. All right? Face-to-face fun. Face-to-face fun is like dating, okay? Remember when you were dating and you would talk till like 2 a.m. on the phone? Because neither one of you wanted to hang up? Because if you hang up first, you don't love the other person or something weird. Why do we do that? Because we're dumb. That's why. But the deal is that, isn't it the truth, though? Oh my gosh, you ran up your grandmother's minutes till she's about to stab you because you ran up so many minutes talking to your girl or whatever. But you wouldn't hang up. Why? Because you were spending that time together. There's the time where you'd sit in the back of a truck bed just staring at each other for an hour. Nowadays, you look at yourself like 5 minutes, like, I've seen that before. Hey, let's go watch Criminal Minds. Let's watch somebody get stabbed. That's seriously what we do, though, isn't it? We're like, hey, I'm no longer enthralled with this face-to-face relationship. Back in the day, I could stare at you for 3 hours. Now, I look at you for 30 minutes. I'm like, hey, dude, I'm tired. What we got to go? What's next? We got to do something. The truth is this: the first place that intimacy dies in our relationship is face-to-face. Face-to-face. We no longer spend time face-to-face. And you go, well, maybe it's for innocent reasons. Like, hey, we have kids and a career, and we got the house, and we got to pay for this stuff, we got this, and this, and we got a lot of stuff going on. We just don't have time to have face-to-face time. The truth is this: you need to make time. Make time. How important is your marriage? Is it the 15th thing on the list? Underneath getting groceries and making sure the laundry's done? That's where your marriage is? Maybe it's time to bump that to the top. And guys, listen to me. Your wife, she craves face-to-face time. And you may walk out and she'll go, I'm not like that. I'm on whatever. She's a liar. You want to know why? Because it's in her genetic makeup. She desires that face-to-face time. She may be weird about it at first. She may whatever. Your wife, she wants and desires for you to sit down with her and have a face-to-face conversation, just you and her. Okay? And I'm going to tell you, I can prove to you 100,000 times. Scripture does it better than I do, though. Look at this. This is Song of Solomon, chapter 7, and verses 1 through 4. Basically, what's happened here is this. Is that Solomon is having a conversation with his wife, okay? And this is the conversation that happens. This is what Solomon is describing his wife. Verse 7. How beautiful your sandal feet, O princess daughter. Your graceful legs are like jewels, the work of a craftsman's hands. Your navel is a rounded goblet that never lacks blended wine. Your waist is a mound of wheat encircled by lilies. Your breasts are like 2 fawns, twins of the gazelle. Your neck is like an ivory tower. Your eyes are like pools of Heshbon by the gate of Bath Rabbit. I don't know what that means, but here's what I'm telling you, though. Solomon is complimenting his wife. Guys, women want details. Okay? It's not what we want. That's why we watch Score Center Top 10, because we don't want to know the details. We just want the headlines. But women want details. You know how you give details? Personally, face-to-face. and you do it safely. Here's the first thing you need to understand about this text. This woman is naked. She's naked. And you go, why is that important? Oh, don't laugh. That's not funny. Anyway, but the deal is she's naked. Here's why that's important. Because this man is walking, and listen to how carefully he describes her. He speaks of her highly. It's not a joke. He's not laughing. He's not, oh, let me make something. Is that a milk dud down there? What is all that? He's not doing anything. You want to know why? Because he is protecting his wife. Guys, women are most likely to open up to you. Your wife will open up to you when you are trustworthy to be opened up to. That is the time when she'll do it. You want to know how you prove that you're trustworthy? That you show restraint. Solomon looks at his wife and he works his way all the way from her sandal feet all the way to the top of her head, and he explains to her everything that he loves about her. Everything is a compliment. And they are not just shallow, surface level, hey, you're fine, babe. It's not that. It's detailed, serious. He is taking his time and talking. He's not making advances. He's not doing something weird. He's saying, hey, honey, I'm going to compliment you. It's an incredible, incredible moment when you take time to look your wife in the face, you and her, and compliment her. You go, well, Kendall, that's just ridiculous. I'm going to tell you whatever. You want your marriage to change? Trust me. Take some time with your wife. Get her alone. Look her in the eye and compliment her. Not with an agenda, not with whatever else, but give her that face-to-face time. Women, it's actually the same way for men. Men desire for you to look them in the face and have an opportunity to compliment them. Compliment them on what they did well. You're like, well, I'm going to tell you, he's done one thing well and 50 things wrong. Well, then compliment the one. Leave the 50 things off. Okay, we'll deal with that later. But right now, you're trying to save your marriage, remember? So you compliment the good things. Look him in the face and say, honey, I love you, and compliment what he did well. And do it genuinely. Become genuinely interested in the other person. Don't just surface level bait them into whatever. No, hey, seriously compliment that person. And they'll be able to tell if you're genuine or not. But the first type of fun that we have to have as a married couple is face to face. Okay? And not enough couples are making time for legitimate face-to-face time. You're like, what do you mean? I mean a weekly date night. Weekly. People are like, what? A weekly? Yes. Drop the kids off with your mother and go hang out. Just go hang out. You'd be so surprised how many of you's marriage would be completely revolutionized if you just go spend time together. Just a little bit of time, face to face, spending some time talking to each other. It would change things. The second type of fun that every married couple needs to have is side-to-side fun. Side-to-side fun. This is not like dating. This is doing something together that you enjoy. And you go, that I enjoy, that he enjoys, that we enjoy, doesn't matter. Do something together that you enjoy. Sometimes both of you will enjoy it. Y'all are like, hey, we like to go on walks or whatever. That's great. Go do that together, side by side. Do it together. Maybe both of you like to serve in the church. You're like, hey man, we're gonna serve in guest services. We're gonna hold doors at the front. We're gonna do that together, and we're gonna love God and serve God that way. Hey, that's incredible. That's the second kind of fun that every single married couple needs to have. Not just serving, but it can be anything. Hey, my parents, when I was a kid growing up, no lie, would walk around our yard in a circle. I was like, this is what happens when you get married. I'm never getting married. I'm not going to go crop circles in the yard. This is so dumb. But anyway, here's the truth. Revolutionized their marriage. You want to know why? Because they were doing something together that they both enjoyed. And the kids weren't out there with them. We were in the house playing or killing each other or something. But it didn't matter because their marriage was incredibly strong. Why? Because they were spending time side by side, doing something they enjoyed. Women, it's a possibility you could enter the world that he lives in. You go, what do you mean? What I mean is he has a work trip in Dallas that he's going to go, and he's there, Friday, Saturday working, but they got Saturday evening off. Y'all get the hotel. Go hang out in Dallas for a weekend. Hey, man, I'm going with you on your work trip. It's going to be great. Y'all go and do it. Or whatever it is. Guys, it's the same thing for us. Maybe she's got to go to the grocery store, which you need to tell her she needs to up her grocery game and start doing a click list because it's so much easier. But what I'll also say is this, is that even if she doesn't, she's like, hey, I'm going to the grocery store. Go with her. You're like, Kendall, it's hours of agony. Listen to me. It will revolutionize your marriage. It's worth it. It's worth it. Go. And you'll probably get like pancake mix, and she'll probably cook them for you if you go with her. So that's what you do. You spend time side by side. Look at this verse, Song of Solomon chapter 7 and verse 11. So we just had this intimate moment face to face. Oh my gosh, your waist, your legs, your all this stuff. Oh, you're hot. Anyway, and then this next verse happens. Listen to what she says. This is the woman. She says, "Come, my lover, let us go to the countryside. Let us spend the night in the villages." What does she mean? Woo, that may be part of it, but that's not, I don't think that's exactly what she meant. But what I will say is this, what she's saying is she's saying, hey, let's go do something together. Let's go enjoy ourselves. Let's spend the night in the villages, and overnight trips are the best. Women, if you're going to plan a trip for your husband, don't make it a day trip. It needs to be overnight, and you can figure out why. But the deal is this, is that when you're spending time together, it's what men enjoy most. Men enjoy getting to do something together that they enjoy. There's 2 times, women, listen to me. There's 2 times when your husband is most likely to open up to you. I talk to women all the time and men all the time, and I sit down in rooms with married couples, and they go, man, something's wrong with their marriage. And she says something like this. The woman always says, I hear it every time, he never talks to me anymore. He never talks to me anymore. We used to talk. He doesn't talk anymore. He doesn't talk. Number 1, he may not want to interrupt you because you may be talking so much. But secondly, okay, the other thing is this. There's 2 times when he's most likely to open up, okay? The first is when he's doing something with you that he enjoys. And you go, well, is it all about him? He's your spouse? Yes. Okay? I know we've got this warped sense of marriage that we think we get into marriage, it's all about me. But spouses, men and women, it is about your spouse. Please, dear Lord, make it about your spouse. But the deal is this, that women, listen to me. He will open up to you either, number 1, first, when he's doing something with you he enjoys, or the second time that he's most likely to open up is right after he's done something with you that he enjoys, okay? So there's only 2 times. It's either during, y'all are doing something together that he enjoys, or right after. That's when he's most likely to let down his guard and to open up to you, and y'all can talk about something deeper than oil change in the car and the weather, okay? So you go, hey, how do I get my husband to talk? Spend time with him side by side. Guys, how do you get your wife to talk? Spend time with her face to face. Face to face. Give her an opportunity to talk to you, to be heard by you, and for her to be heard by you. And that's what we really want, is for her to listen and then also to be heard. That's what she wants. Now for us, guys, we like to do stuff together. So women, you want to get your husband to open up? Do something with him. Do something with him. It doesn't matter what it is. Jogging, working out, we're going to go on a walk, we're going to go on a nature trail, we're going to whatever. Do something together that he enjoys. You're like, I hate fishing. Well, if you go down there and pick up the Barbie pole and you throw it in the water 4 or 5 times in booty shorts and a crop top, he's probably going to open up to you, okay? That's probably what's going to happen right there. So listen to me. You want some tips? That's your first tip. So the last thing is this, all right? Number 3. So we have face-to-face, side-to-side. The last type of fun that every married couple needs to have is belly button to belly button fun, okay? And so we're going to talk about something really important. Look at this. Song of Solomon, chapter 7, verses 11 to 12. So we have the face-to-face. The husband proved himself as trustworthy. He's a trustworthy man. He didn't make a joke. He wasn't laughing. He trusted. She showed herself vulnerable. He was trustworthy with that. They went and they had fun together. They've had a blast. They went to the villages. They got smoothies. They did whatever. They came back. And listen what happens next. This is the woman speaking. Come, my lover. Let us go to the countryside. Let us spend the night in the villages. Let us go early to the vineyards to see if the vines have budded, if their blossoms have opened, and if the pomegranates are in bloom. There I will give you my love. You know what just happened? They're going to have sex in a park. 2 things about that. Number 1, that's awesome. Number 2, don't do it or else you'll get arrested unless you can find a really private place, which even then there's like chickers and stuff. It's not a good idea. So the deal is this. Sex is important. It's a really important part of our marriages. It's a really important piece to what we're doing. But what you have to understand is that, guys, what we have to understand is that sex is the last thing on a long list of things. It's on the list, okay? But it's the last thing on a long list of things. Look at this verse, Proverbs 5, 18 through 19. You want men to come to church, read these types of verses. May your fountain be blessed, And may you rejoice in the wife of your youth, a loving doe, a graceful deer. May her breast satisfy you always. May you ever be captivated by her love. Captivated. How do you become captivated? Physical intimacy. It's the truth. It's the truth. People are like, oh my gosh, church can't talk about physical intimacy. Yes, we can, because God created it. That's in Scripture. You're like, oh, that's nasty. Well, God wrote it into. So you got a problem with the wrong dude. But he says, hey, I created it. It's his thing. He owns it. You go, why would God put that in there? Because it's the glue that holds relationships together. It's an extremely important piece. Now, guys, hear me out, okay? Your wife is a crock pot, okay? She's a crock, not a crack pot, but a crock pot, okay? I got confused in the first service. Crock pot, all right? If you want to eat dinner out of a crock pot, you don't start 15 minutes before 6, okay? If you want to eat dinner out of a crock pot, you start slicing carrots at 9 a.m. that morning. And you know what you do? You put them in there with some broth and some chicken, salt and pepper, and a piece of, big hunk of chicken there, and you turn it on the floor. And throughout the day, you come home and you stir that little pot up. You keep things brewing, make sure everything's balanced out, make sure stuff's going to get a little, yeah, okay? It's working, it's working, it's working. And you know what? At dinner time, you get a delicious meal. But if you don't start on time, the taters don't cook, the chicken's raw, you get south of Manila. That's what happens whenever you start sexual with your wife 15 minutes before you want it to happen. You got to start early. Okay? Now, us by contrast, guys, women, listen to me. We're microwaves. Okay? So you're a crock pot. You take 7 hours to get ready. A guy, beep, we're ready to go. So, and guys can make anything sexual. It's like, we're going to mow the lawn. Oh, I'll mow your lawn. Listen, we're born for this, okay? That's not because we're nasty, or because we're weird, or immature. It's really how we're created, okay? So you have to understand, that's who he is. Now, guys, you also understand that's who your wife is, okay? So we have to work on a few things. We have to work on our approach, okay? Approach. Guys, let's work on our approach. Let's vary it a little bit. Okay, especially when you get married, you've been married for a few years, your husband stops trying, you get to the point where you're just like, I know you want some of this. No, that's not the way to do it, okay? Romance her. Let's try something new, all right? Let's do something cool. Think like you did when you were dating. Be like, hey, we're going to set something up, and we're going to do something cool, and I'm going to deliver flowers at work, and I'm going to have all those things done. Why? Because you understand that flowers at work are the carrots at 9 a.m., okay? And they go in the crock pot, okay? And if you don't do that, then you're not getting dinner, okay? So just get over it. And you shouldn't be surprised when you get home. You're like, oh my gosh, dinner's not done. Well, you didn't prepare it, homie, so listen to me. The deal is this. Guys, we got to vary our approach. Women, you got to make an approach, okay? You got to try. All right? It looks better in satin than it does in flannel, okay? Just take that home, okay? It looks better that way. Now, here's the deal. Listen to me. Here's the deal. It's really important. It's in Scripture, so if you don't like it, take it up with Jesus. But the deal is this. In marriage, women, what usually happens is you'll come to bed wearing, that nightgown that your grandmother gave you that literally is so thick that if a solar flare happened behind you, you still couldn't see through it. But the deal is you got to come to bed, wear something exciting. Nicole and I have a rule for exciting clothes. Exciting clothes, if you're wearing something exciting and you come to bed and you see a quarter on the floor, you'll have no pockets to put it in, okay? That's the rule for exciting clothes. If you're wearing exciting clothes to the bedroom, you will have no pockets, okay? That's how this kind of works. Now, here's what you need to understand. Marriage has a couple of facets that are really, really, really important. Face-to-face is the first one. Hey guys, if we're not having face-to-face conversations with our spouse, our marriage is doomed. The second thing is side by side. If we're not spending time together and enjoying that time, your marriage is doomed to a doom loop of nothing enjoyable. It's just the truth. You'll never do anything together. It's not going to develop on its own. It's not going to just get easier. And oh my gosh, I'm just going to all of a sudden love all his hobbies. No, you're not. But you're going to love him enough that you'll do it with him. And guys, same thing for the girls. Hey, listen. You may not love going to, watch that wedding show for the 17th time where the girl's going to throw a fit about the wedding dress for 3 hours about it. But you love your wife enough to sit there and watch it and endure and smile. You want to know why? Because you love your wife. Then the third thing is this intimacy, this physical intimacy, this opportunity for us to come together and to have something that we share that no one else gets to be a part of. Physical intimacy is the one part of marriage that is completely reserved for only you and your spouse. That is it. No one else gets to be a part. No one else gets to see. No one else gets to talk about it. You're not talking about it with your boyfriend. You're not talking about it with your girlfriends. Anybody that's around, you're not talking about it. Why? Because it's between you and your spouse. And that's it. That's it. You know why? Because it is the glue that holds your relationship together. It's the glue. It holds you guys close. As I begin to kind of think this through and kind of to see this message, I go, you know what? The truth is this, is that most of us are not having fun in our marriages. We're not enjoying it. These are 3 areas that you can take home today and go, hey, we're going to work on 3 areas. Face-to-face, side-to-side, and belly-button to belly-button. We're going to do those 3 things. Those 3 things. And if you will work on those 3 areas, it will revolutionize your marriage. And you go, well, there's other things. Absolutely there are. There's 1,000 other things. But these are the simplest 3, giving you an opportunity to have conversation with your spouse and all sorts of things. The truth is this, women, you need to understand this. This is the final thing about sex you need to understand. Your husband, his only legitimate opportunity for full sexual satisfaction is you. If he gets sexual satisfaction or gratification from anything or anyone else, he's in trouble. You are it. So here's what you need to understand. The loss of sex is just as detrimental to him as sudden silence is to you. So if you came home and your husband just all of a sudden just ignoring you, he's not going to talk to you, he's not looking you in the eye, he's not coming around, as soon as you say something to him, he just walks off, not going to talk to you. That kind of panic that kind of wells up in you, is something wrong? Is he about to divorce? What happened? That panic is the same panic for him that happens when you cut off sex from him. He's like, is something wrong? Am I about to get into what's happening? All of a sudden it becomes an issue. Why? Because physical intimacy is something that is developed and was built and was created for you and your spouse to enjoy. Something for y'all to enjoy. People are like, well, what's okay? What's not okay? We're not going to go there. But what I will say is this, is that in your marriage, it's between you and your spouse. That is yours. That is for y'all to have and for you to enjoy. So if you enjoy it, y'all are having fun, get after it. I don't care. That's not my thing. That's y'all's. Enjoy it. Final thing is this. This is in Revelation chapter 2 and verse 5. Look at what it says. It says, remember the height from which you have fallen. Repent and do the things you did at first. I think one of the best things we could do as people and as spouses and as married couples, the best thing we can do is sometimes go back to the things you used to do. Go back and you go, well, we can't do it anymore. I just don't feel it anymore. Listen to me. Feelings follow actions. That's why I tell people when they're starting to tithe, they go, Kendall, I don't feel like tithing today. Well, listen, bro, me either. There's some times I'm like, hey, I don't want to tithe. We could use that this month. We could buy this. We could do that. But you know what the truth is? Is that my feelings follow my actions. That I have an action that precedes what I feel like. Same thing in marriage. There's times like, well, I don't really feel like doing that. I don't feel like being that way with him or being that way with her. I don't feel like putting that much effort in. You know what? Sometimes you got to have the action and the feeling's going to follow later. You know, hey, I'm going to work on our marriage and the feelings will come to bear later on. The truth is sometimes we sit there and go, man, the grass looks greener somewhere else. The truth is this. If the grass looks greener somewhere else, it might be time to water our yard. It might be time to work on it. Let's commit to being a group of people that are willing to invest in our marriages. It's crazy to me how the first option most often is to throw in the towel instead of working on it. We just go, hey, I can't tell you how many times I've sat in rooms with married couples and we've sat down and they're like, we're getting a divorce. Okay, have you guys talked about it? Have you prayed about it? Have you been to counseling? Have you exhausted every single resource you possibly can in order to save your marriage? Like, well, no, we haven't really done that. We just kind of, I don't like the way he talks to me sometimes, and she's always nagging me, and I'm ready to kind of get out of this thing. You're like, what? No, put aside the ego and the pride, and let's sit down and make this marriage work. The truth is this, though. Marriages, great marriages, and fun marriages don't happen on their own. They don't just show up. It's like, oh, well, I married a great guy, so our marriage must be great. It's It's probably the hardest thing you'll ever do. But at the same time, you want to know what? It's the most rewarding thing you'll ever do. It's an opportunity for you to have someone who can be close to you, who can know the deepest, darkest parts of you and yet still love you. And desire you for who you are. Not desire you for the show you put on, but instead to desire you for who you are. My wife, Nicole, knows everything about me. Everything. She knows everything. I've told her everything. My deepest, darkest, ugliest parts, from thoughts to actions to things I've done wrong. My wife knows all of it. And yet, she loves me. And so there was a one point where somebody was talking about, well, there's always this, you could always leave and get somebody else. You know what the truth is? Is that my wife knows things about me that no one knows. And yet she still loves me. So no, I'm not going to get rid of her, because there's a good possibility whoever else we get is not going to do that. So my wife has incredible grace for me, even though I'm jacked. And she loves me anyway. And so for you, it's this opportunity to have this relationship, but it takes work. Face to face, side to side, and belly button to belly button. It's this opportunity for us to have something incredible. And so if your marriage is on the fritz, you're sitting here going, man, it's either going out, or maybe you're sitting here going, man, I just don't enjoy my marriage. I love my wife. I love my husband. He's a great guy. She's a great woman. And we used to have so much fun. But now it's a drag. I mean, I'm not ever going to get out because, divorce isn't really an option. But, man, this is just not fun. This is not enjoyable. Maybe it's an opportunity for us to work on these three things and get serious about our marriages changing. So, if you would, if everybody in this room would just bow your heads real quick. Just real quick. Every head bowed and every eye closed. We're closing out. We're finishing up. As we finish up with every head bowed and every eye closed, what I want to do is this. Is maybe you're sitting here today and you go, you know what, Kendall? I don't know Jesus. I don't know him as my Savior. And you know what? My marriage, there feels like something's off, but I can't put my finger on it. The truth is this. If you don't know Jesus as your Savior, then your marriage will always be a pinch off. Just a pinch off. And as you sit here with every head bowed and every eye closed for just a second, just you and I talking, what I want to do is I want to lead you in a prayer. It's not a special prayer with special words, but what it is it is an opportunity for you to enter into a relationship with God. And you'll, Kendall, I haven't earned it. No, you can never earn it. He gives it to you for free. And so sitting here with every head bowed and every eye closed for just a second, what I want to do is I want to lead you in a prayer. You don't have to say anything out loud. You can just say this in your head. Just say, God, I've made mistakes. God, I've messed up. And God, I know the punishment for that sin is death. But God, I also know that you sent your Son to die on a cross for me, to take my place. And today, I accept him as my Savior. Come into my heart and save me. And if you prayed that prayer today, every head bowed and every eye closed, if you prayed that prayer today, here's what I want you to know. You're saved. 100% for sure. Not because you earned it, not because you're good enough, but because God loves you. I'm going to lead you in a prayer, then we're going to get you out of here. Dear Heavenly Father, God, I thank you so much for today. God, I thank you for loving us the way that you do. God, I thank you for giving us such incredible opportunities to know you and to know your Son. God, I thank you for marriage. I thank you for an opportunity to have a spouse and someone who can love us, God. We love you and we praise you. In your name I pray. Amen.